Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. We're going into our settlement phase for Kingdom Death Monster. We're on Lantern Year 1. We just got done fighting a level 1 white lion and it didn't go the greatest, but we're okay. We got back. We have our returning survivors Xena, Aeolus, and Gabrielle. All three of them are right down in this area. Sadly, Aeolus is probably not going to be going hunting anytime soon. He has a broken back and he's missing an arm. So we have our founding person here, Gold Moon. She had to skip the last hunt event because she kind of pondered existence in front of our lantern horde, which is right here with all our settlement locations. We also have our settlement tracking sheet that's going to be filled out while we go through the settlement phase. These are our settlement events. We're going to have to draw one this turn. The first time we did it, we used the first day card, but now we had to shuffle this deck up and we're going to draw one from there. These are our resources that we got for killing the white lion. These are our principles. We're actually going to be using this deck this time because we are going to be gaining a new principle. Also, we have our innovations right here. We're going to probably be drawing one of these if we decide to innovate. Hopefully we do. We'll see how it goes. These are the ones we can't draw from, but we might be adding in. Now, since we have lost Hercules during the last battle, we are going to create two new characters, Caramon and Raceland. Both are new to the civilization, but they both have one survival because I named them. We have our original innovations language and symposium right up here. So our settlement is all set up and ready to go. Now, before we continue, I must tell you that this game may not be for all ages. It does have some graphic content. I'm going to put a little disclaimer somewhere in one of these two corners. So make sure you take advantage of the warning label. I don't want a lot of kids watching some of this. And I will guarantee you during this settlement phase, there is going to be probably a picture or two that may not be for all ages. So I will also warn you before that picture comes up, but I also want to warn you right now before we start this settlement phase. With the disclaimer out of the way, I'm ready to start the settlement phase. If you're ready to see what happens, then I need you to meet me at the table. Now, if we look at Xena, she just came back from fighting that white lion. She has 2 check marks in her hunt XP. And if you notice, this one's a little bit darker. So that means we're going to go ahead and do our first event, which is going to be age. So let's go ahead and take care of that right now. Whenever one of these comes up, it should be done pretty much right at the time it happens. So it should have happened right at the end of that fight, but I wanted to make sure we did it during the settlement phase instead of during the fight. So that's why I waited till now to do it. So we're going to take care of our age event right now for 3 of our characters, Aeolus, Xena, and Gabrielle. So here's the picture of our event age. I don't know, apparently this guy's kind of meditating around the lanterns and gaining some more wisdom or something. I don't know. These guys look kind of creepy. But if we look at our event, it says age. Your time in the darkness changes you. It says right here, gain the benefits of Hunt XP milestone you have reached. A survivor may only gain each milestone benefit once a lifetime. So if at any time you actually lose some of your age experience and you come back through it, you're not going to be able to gain these abilities a second time. Now, after gaining 2 Hunt XP, we were able to check off the first box on our age. So we're going to go ahead and take care of what is right here. It says weapon proficiency. You may now select a weapon type for weapon proficiency. If you wound a monster with the selected weapon type, you are now eligible to gain a proficiency level during the aftermath. Roll on the table below. We're going to go ahead and choose some weapon proficiencies. We're going to give Aeolus Dagger because he's not really going to be doing much more than that because he only has 1 hand. So we're going to give him Dagger, not to mention he can't carry anything that has more than 2 strength. So again, I'm guessing Dagger is going to be really good. Either that or maybe Fist and Tooth. I don't know which one. I think we're going to go with Dagger. Now, as for Gabrielle, she's actually going to take Axe. I know you're kind of wondering why I'm taking Axe, but we still have that Bone Axe. I needed to give it to somebody, so I'm going to give it to her. So she's going to gain an Axe proficiency. And Xena, I'm going to give her Sword. Now, the reason I'm giving her Sword is because I don't really know what she's going to start using, so I think I'm going to start moving towards Sword with her. We'll see how it all works out in the end. If you don't think these are great, please let me know in the comments below. But that's what I think we're going to do. Dagger for Aeolus, axe for Gabrielle, and we're going to give the sword proficiency to Xena. Now that we've selected our weapon proficiency, we have to roll on these tables to see what happens to our wonderful survivors. So I'm going to go ahead and just roll right on the book just to see what we get. So the first person that's going to roll is Xena. She's going to roll this dice and see what happens to her. She got a 3. So it says right here, gain +1 permanent strength. That's absolutely awesome. I'm a big fan of that. Way to go, Xena. That's going to be awesome. All right, the next person is going to be Gabrielle. What happens to Gabrielle? Gabrielle gets another 3. Wow, she gets permanent strength as well. Our guys are going to be super beefed up. I guess they've had enough of white lions not be able to wound them. All right, we're going to go ahead and roll for Iolaus. This is kind of a mute point because I don't know when the next time he's going to go out. I failed to mention he only has 3 speed as well. So this is just, he's in really bad shape. Let's see what he got. He got 5. That means, he also gained a permanent strength. Everybody gets permanent +1 strength. So we're going to go add that to all their characters. So Xena's going to go ahead and gain 1 strength. So I'm going to go ahead and write that on Gabrielle, and I'm also going to write that on Iolaus as well. Also, when we came back to the settlement, we're able to heal. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm actually going to erase all their armor and stuff on all their guys because I don't know what I'm going to give them when they go out. But they also get to heal all the damage they took. Now, of course, permanent injuries don't get healed. So Iolaus' missing arm doesn't get healed. It doesn't magically grow back. So that's where we stand right now with Xena. I'm going to go ahead and heal all our guys and give them +1 strength. With that taken care of, the next thing we do is we get to gain endeavors. We only get 3. Only 3 of us managed to get back. But we do get 3, which isn't too bad. We can do something fun with that. The next thing we're going to do is update our timeline. So according to our tracker here, it says update timeline. Draw a settlement event card and resolve it. Then we're also going to trigger story and settlement events on the timeline this year. All right, so we got our settlement event deck here. I'm just going to give it one more big cut here. And we're going to draw a settlement event and see what happens to our brave survivors. Dark Dentist. It says a cloaked woman enters the settlement. All can be seen beneath her hood is the sparkle of perfect teeth. She offers to improve the survivors if they are brave enough. So now it has lingering effects. We have all these different options we could do. We could mend bone. The woman fixes your broken mouth. Heal the shattered jaw, severe injury. We don't have to worry about that. The next one is monster tooth dentures. The woman upgrades your mouth, gain +1 permanent strength once per lifetime. But look, that takes 4 bone and 1 large flat tooth. We don't have that. Now, we can have a metal jaw, but we have to have iron. We don't have any iron either. Gain the following ability, metal jaw. Your fist and tooth gain sharp. It must be a new thing. Now, before gaining the benefits of monster tooth dentures or metal jaw, roll a d10 to see if the surgery was a success. Well, this event is actually not going to be affecting any of us because we don't have the resources to take advantage of any of this, nor do we really have the ability to do any of this stuff. So that event actually isn't too bad because it didn't actually do anything bad to our settlement. Sadly, it didn't do anything too good. We're now going to update our timeline, and I should have gone ahead and crossed off our 2. We are now in Lantern Year 2, but we have to deal with endless screams. The art for endless screams is right here. Now, sadly, again, like I said, not for all ages. This poor guy didn't seem to make it through the endless scream. But look at our survivors. They're horrified at what they hear. The story event, Endless Screams. A scream pierces the silence around the settlement. As noise fades, a chorus of horror rise up in answer. The settlement erupts into chaos, trying to comprehend the source of the terrible wail. You may now hunt the screaming antelope. Add it to the quarry list on the settlement record sheet. Nominate a single survivor to stand amidst the madness. They gain +1 courage and become the voice of reason. So we have to nominate a survivor. There are 2 survivors in our population that actually have courage. That's Xena and Gold Moon. Now, Gold Moon's never been out there, but Xena has. I think we're going to, again, have Gold Moon do it. She's going to go ahead and grab +1 courage. So she's going to be up to 2 courage. And she also has to roll on this table. It's called the voice of reason. So not only has she founded our civilization, really, she's also going to be the voice of reason. Let's see what happens to good old Gold Moon. A 7. So it says right here, the survivors stand firm in the face of the screaming unknown. Slow and strong words change the settlement's fear into tingling excitement. After all, the endless screams might be an opportunity to gain knowledge and harness the darkness. The survivor gains the Orat of Death fighting art. Returning survivors gain +2 insanity. Now the returning survivors are Xena, Gabrielle, and Iolaus, so they all get +2 insanity, and Gold Moon gets the Orator of Death. So her fighting art is right here, Orator of Death. It says, once per showdown, you may spend your action to have all non-death survivors gain +2 insanity. When you die, you encourage all survivors with your last words. That's kind of cool. All right, we're going to go ahead and it says right here, record and archive. So we're going to write down that she is the Orator of Death on her card. So from Endless Screams, Goldmoon is going to grab +1 courage. So we're going to go ahead and write down Orator of Death on her character record sheet here. I know my handwriting is not the best, but that's okay. Now, we also have to remove the skip next hunt because that was only for that first lantern year. We're going to the second lantern year. So if we want to, we could actually take her out on our next hunt. She gets the ability to give everybody 2 insanity, and on top of that, she does have some courage and some understanding. Maybe it wouldn't be bad to start using Goldmoon. And also, our returning survivors get +2 insanity. So they're up to, well, this is Xena, and she's up to 3 insanity. Also, Gabrielle's going to gain that as well, and she's going to be up to 3. Now, Aeolus doesn't have any insanity, so he's only going to be up to 2 insanity, but that's okay. Now, look right here. If your insanity is 3+, you're insane. So right now, Gabrielle and Xena are both insane. So Endless Screams told us that we could now hunt the Screaming Antelope. So we're going to check that box. So we can choose either to fight the White Lion or the Screaming Antelope on our next hunt. Now that we've gone ahead and taken care of our timeline, we now have to move into update death count, and we have a death. Poor Hercules, he got killed by a lion. So we're going to go ahead and box this in. Now, if you notice, the box up here was actually a darker box than the rest. So the first time you do this, you're going to actually have to do a milestone, which is going to be our next section here. It says 6, check milestone story events. So we're going to go ahead and look right here. It says, from this step on, trigger any milestone story events when their conditions are satisfied. So our first one we're going to do is this death count one. Now here are some of the milestone events that can happen during your civilization's time in its existence. You can have your first child is born, the first death count is updated, which is what we're going to do. Also, if you reach 15 population or your settlement gets 5 innovations, all these can happen at some point. So we're going to go ahead and kind of cross off this one and read the principle of death. And I'm going to warn you right now, this principle of death, picture capturing this principle is not exactly the greatest. It's pretty graphic. So again, if you have small impressionable children, they probably shouldn't watch the next minute and a half. So we have our principle of death. Sadly, I don't think Hercules is going to make it. This is just one way that we could resolve our principles of death, but we shall see what we decide. Story event principle death. The group must decide what to do with their first survivor corpse. Choose one. One thing we can choose is the first harvest. The settlement decides to harvest the body for resources. The settlement gains the death principle cannibalize. Find and place the card in the settlement board and note it on the settlement record sheet. Then there's a table I have to roll on as well. Our other option is the first grave. The settlement decides to build a small monument to mark their loss. The settlement gains death principle graves. Find and place the card on the settlement board and note it on the settlement record sheet. After adding the card to the settlement, roll on a d10. Now we have to choose one of these two. Now I would have liked to put this to a vote. Actually, it's sad I didn't. I should have done that. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the first grave. Now, if anything else happens during our settlement that I'm going to need a big choice like this, I'm actually going to have everybody go ahead and vote as to which one we should do. Now we're going to do the first grave, unless there's an absolute failing outcry for the first harvest, then I'll try to back up and redo a little bit of the game. But we're going to do the first graves as our principle of death. Now that we've decided that, we have to go ahead and roll on this table. And let's see what we get. Something good, I hope. We got a 9. Usually the higher the better. Let's see what it says. So a 9 says nominate a survivor. With tears in their eyes, the survivor takes a shard of rock from the grave and marks themselves with it. They cherish the mark forever. The survivor gains +1 permanent luck. Oh, that's going to be great. Permanent luck is used when trying to critically hit a monster. So instead of needing a lantern 9, we'd actually be able to, or 10, I apologize. We would actually crit on a 9 when using a person with +1 luck. I'm going to give the +1 luck to the nominated survivor of Goldmoon. Now, the reason I'm giving it to Goldmoon and nobody else is because the other characters we have in our party, most of them, have strength already. So they're already able to hit and damage a monster a lot easier than she would. So if I give her +1 luck, when she rolls a 9 or 10, we crit the monster. If she doesn't, she most likely is going to miss anyway, trying to wound it. So that is my logic behind why I gave her +1 luck. So we're going to go ahead and put down our principle of death. There's a Graves right here. And it says down here at the bottom, all new survivors gain +1 understanding. And when a survivor dies during the hunt or showdown phase, gain +2 endeavor. When a survivor dies during the settlement phase, gain +1 endeavor. We're going to go ahead and put our principle right there. Next, we're going to be moving into the development phase. So I'm going to take our endeavors and move them over here. And now we have to decide what we want to craft, innovate, and use our endeavors for. Now, before we start crafting and using our endeavors, I want to show you this. This is our Catatarium. We got this for defeating the level 1 White Lion. We're able to use its resources to create some White Lion gear and also some really cool items and weapons such as guitars. We can make a bow and arrow. We could even make a cloak or a lion headdress. Look, it takes one shimmering mane, and we have a shimmering mane, not to mention a cat eye circlet. We could do that as well because we have an eye of cat. We do have some white lion fur that we could use to create maybe some of this gear. So I'm going to put this with the rest of our settlement locations that we can choose to make from. Now, the first thing we're going to do is, I think our best bet is always to innovate. So we're going to innovate. So we're going to look through here and find a hide, a bone, and an organ. So let's see here. We've got, this is an organ, but I honestly don't want to use that one. We have white fur. That's really good. We got a broken lantern. This is scrap. We're going to put it right there. It's really worth nothing for us. Here's another organ. So we do have one organ we could use. We have a monster bone and we got a monster hide. Now, if we use those to innovate, it leaves us with only hide and this cat eye that we have, which I don't know if that's something we should do. And we have no way of making any weapons. We need bone in order to make any type of weapon. But I really think innovating is important. So we are going to spend our 3 resources and 1 endeavor to innovate. So we're going to go ahead and draw 4 of these because of our symposium upgrade that we have in our innovations. So we get the top 4 cards from our innovation deck, and we have to choose one. So let's see what we get. We've got Inner Lantern. This one says, the settlement finds the light within all survivors. Gain the Surge survival action. Oh, this one's really good. Once per round, spend 1 survival to gain 1 extra action and use it immediately. I'll have to see the rule book to explain exactly how this works. Also add Inner Lantern consequences to the innovation deck. That one might be the one we choose because that's pretty good. That's going to help probably save us. The Hovel. It's a home type thing. We get survival limit +1. The settlement accepts this nightmarish landscape as their home. Departing survivors, oh, they gain +1 survival. That's not going to be bad at all. Add the Hovel consequences to the innovation deck. We might take that one as well. They're all really good. Storytelling, it can add an education to everything. It says here survival limit goes up +1. Now I can use 2 endeavor for story time. We do have 2 endeavor right down here. And it says that we gain either +1 understanding, all departing survivors gain +3 insanity, or we get to do the story event White Speaker. And of course we'll have to add the storytelling consequences to the deck if we want. And lastly, we got Nightmare Training. It says I can use one of these to train. Lose 3 survival and roll a d10. Well, we don't have 3 survival, so I wonder if we're still able to do it even if we can't lose a survival. I don't see why not. It says accident. Spend 1 survival or die. Oh, wow, that's terrible. You may spend 1 survival and roll again. Gain a weapon proficiency or gain permanent accuracy or strength. Wow, that's not bad, but oh my gosh. No, I don't like Nightmare Training. We're not going to do Nightmare Training. That one's bad. We're going to put that right back on top of the deck. So we got to choose from these. This one's really cool. I'd love to see what this White Speaker does, but I think that's going to be another time. I really think it's going to be between these 2. I love the Departing Survivors gain +1 survival, but being able to gain the Surge ability is really good. I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. Which one do you think is a better one to have? I don't really know which one to do. Before we fight the White Lion, I'm going to go ahead and after you decide which one I should take, Inner Lantern or Hovel, that's when we'll make our decision on this. I know that kind of ruins a little bit of it because we're going to go through the whole hunt event using one of these, and I might switch it up to another one. I don't know. But for right now, we have to choose. Now, to help you make your decision, I want to make sure that you understand what Surge does. Surge is a type of survival action. When opportunity permits, a survivor may spend 1 survival to gain Surge, which allows them to gain 1 action, which must be spent immediately. This allows them to activate a weapon, interact with terrain, use gear, and anything else that an activation allows them to do. Resolve the results of the Surge, including any monster reaction. So you could use it to actually attack the monster in between maybe its attack on somebody else or an attack against you if you wanted to. Then each survivor may only surge once per round, and only if the settlement has the Inner Lantern innovation. So that's what that does. I just want to make sure everybody understands that. So we have to choose between Hovel and Inner Lantern. Now, I don't have a lot of survival to begin with. The most I have is 1. So at this point in time, I don't know if Inner Lantern is going to be the way to go. I'm going to put it back. Now, of course, in the comments below, please tell me which one you would like me to have and which one you think would really benefit our civilization and our survivors. So for right now, we're going to do Hovel, which means our settlement is going to gain +1 survival limit, bringing it to 4. And when we depart, everybody's going to gain a survival. You can't go wrong with that. So we're going to go ahead and put that up into our innovations up here. And on top of that, I have to add the Hovel consequences from our innovation deck. So I've got our 3 Hovel innovation consequences. We're going to put them in our innovation deck, and we'll shuffle that next time we do our settlement phase. Now we still have 2 Endeavor, and we also have a whole bunch of resources to craft some items. And at this point, we can't use this broken lantern, so we're just going to put it over here for now. Let's go through the rest of this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 hide, and this cat eye. I think what we're going to do is we're going to use the cat eye to create this cat eye circlet. This thing is pretty awesome. It says to use an action to reveal the next 3 monster hit locations and put them back in any order. You can set it up so you can hopefully not have to deal with the trap. If you can get lucky enough to, well, I guess not hit it 3 times. So you want to hit as many as you can. But this will really help being able to see what you're going to be going against when you're hitting the monster. So we're going to go ahead and use our cat eye to create this cat eye circlet. Thing's awesome. Now I've got 2 hide here, a lion tail and a monster hide. And I want to create the rawhide boots and the rawhide pants. The reason for this is because now I have a full set of rawhide gear. And if you can create a full set of gear, you actually get a good bonus for it. So whoever puts on the entire rawhide set will be able to gain the rawhide armor completed bonus set. It says add 1 to all hit locations. So these normally only give you 1 defense. Now all of them give you 2. So whoever's wearing it gets 2 to every single location. It also says down here, when you perform a survival action, roll a d10 on a 6+, you gain back that survival, which is going to be awesome. So say you dodge an attack, you can roll a 6+. If you get a 6 or better, you get that survival back, and you can dodge another attack at another turn. So that's going to be awesome. So we're going to make sure to buy those so that we can gain the advantage of this rawhide armor. And now the last thing might be met with a little bit of criticism. I'm going to go ahead and use this shimmering mane to create our lioness headdress. It says right here, accessory, you may wear this in addition to 1 armor of this hit location. So for example, I could give this to the person with the skull helm, and they're going to get 4 defense on their head. Most likely my plan is to give it to the person with the rawhide gear, just because then she can have, he or she, it's going to be Xena, spoiler alert, and so she's going to be able to have 3 armor on her head because of the rawhide armor. And that leaves us with 1 more fur. I'm actually going to keep this. I think we're going to keep this along with our scrap. If you don't think that's a good idea and I should be buying something else, please let me know. But I think this is our best bet. So how do you think I did? Was this a good purchase for our crafting materials, or should I have done something different? Go ahead and leave it in the comments below. Tell me what you think. So the last thing we have to spend is 2 Endeavor since we decided to keep these resources. Now one thing we could do is we could go right over to our Lantern Horde and do our shared experience. It costs 1 Endeavor. It says nominate a survivor that has 2 or more hunt XP than yourself. They describe illuminating details of their desired death. If you are not deaf, gain +1 hunt experience from their story. If the nominated survivor has a shattered jaw, instead gain +1 insanity. Well, nobody has a shattered jaw. So one thing I could do is I could have Xena go ahead and use the 1 Endeavor to go ahead and help out one of our newer survivors that are going to be going out by gaining 1 experience already. But we also have this option as well, augury. The survivor endeavors to glean the meaning of existence. Roll on the table, add +1 to your roll if your understanding is 3 or higher. It's not. So we can use one of our Endeavor to do this. I think that's what we're going to do. So we have 2 Endeavor left. Now another thing we could do with our Endeavor is buy a stone nose. Now what's a stone nose? Let me show you. The stone noses are an item that we can create. It's a piece of jewelry. It says right here, on arrival gain +1 survival and +1 insanity, arrival at the start of the showdown. So if I'm able to make these, that means that when we get to there, I can gain +1 survival and +1 insanity. The reason why that's so good is because sometimes during the hunt event, you can lose some of this, and this isn't going to activate until you actually get to the showdown. So at this stage, we have quite a lot of survivors, so I'm not too worried about doing the augury, because what that we're looking for on augury is this intimacy. Or we could gain +1 survival. But if we're able to get these stone noses out there, we're able to gain some survival already, which makes me want to rethink possibly not doing the hovel, because now if we can get these people out there, they're going to be gaining up to 2 extra survival. So I will be going this fight with at least 2 people or 3 people with more than 2 or more survival. So I think actually I'm going to rethink this hovel and maybe go back to our other one. Well, you let me know what you think. And if it is decided to change it, I will. But for right now, we're still going to keep with the hovel. That's what I chose. But we are going to create a couple of stone noses. And now we're going to go ahead and prepare our departing survivors. So we're going to remove gear from returning survivors and decide where we want to put it. So we're going to go ahead first and make up Xena. Now Xena's going to grab some rawhide pants. She's going to put it right down there. Now she's also going to grab these rawhide boots, and these are awesome. When you depart, gain +1 survival. So she's up to 2 survival, I believe, right now. No, actually, she's only be 1. She has none right now, so she gets 1. I'm also going to give her the lion headdress. We're going to put that up there. Now she also gets this rawhide headband. And this will allow us to look at some of the AI cards if we chose to give up her action. We're also going to give her the rawhide vest, and linking it with the rawhide gloves, which also gives her +1 survival. So now she has 2 plus survival. That's fantastic. She is going to also grab our founding stone. Now this means she has an entire set of rawhide gear, which means she will be taking advantage of her rawhide armor card right here, meaning she might be able to gain some of that survival back when she uses it. Not to mention all of these are a 2 instead of 1, except that one. That one's still just a 1. And that's going to be what Xena is going to take into the next hunt. So Xena gets to ride in a lot of armor. She gets 3 in the head and then 2 in every one of these other locations. Now she also gets 2 survival from her 2 pieces of rawhide gear, but we also get +1 survival whenever we depart thanks to our hovel location. So she's actually leaving with 3 survival. That's really good. And she's also got her sword weapon proficiency. It's not going to come into play here, but well, maybe we might find a sword on the way there. Who knows? Who knows in the world of Kingdom Death? But Xena's ready to go. Next we have Gabrielle. Gabrielle is going to gain the bone axe. She's going to start running around with the axe because I gave her that extra weapon proficiency. So she's got an axe proficiency. We're going to go ahead and link them just like that. This is pretty much what Hercules was having last time, but she is going to add one of those stone noses. So she's able to gain that survival and insanity when she steps onto the battlefield, or the showdown, I'm sorry. So that's where we stand right now with her. So let's go ahead and fill this all in. She has the axe, rawhide vest, the same cloth armor, and she also gets the skull helm. So Gabrielle's going to be able to get 1 defense to her body and her waist, and she's getting 3 to her head because of that skull helm. Now she has 1 survival as it stands right now, so we're going to get rid of that and make it a 2 because of our hovel innovation. We get that +1. It's really good. Don't forget she's got a weapon efficiency axe, so it's going to be awesome. She is super ready to go. Next we have Gold Moon. Gold Moon's going to be going out on the adventure. Now I think I'm going to give her a founding stone, some cloth armor, 1 of those stone noses, and bone darts. I'm giving her 2 different weapons so she can attack from pretty much anywhere on the board. Well, up to 6 range. But that's going to be my plan with her. Since she has that +1 luck, hopefully some of this will hit and we'll be able to do some extra luck. Now, of course, we want to use our unarmed combat down here. It already has +1 luck, meaning she would have +2 luck, meaning she would be critting on 8s. But it says that we need an 8 or better to hit with that. And I'm not a big fan of that, so that's why I'm bringing a couple weapons with me as well. So on Gold Moon's card here, we're going to give her +1 to the waist, and we're going to give her an extra survival, of course, because of that hovel innovation. Oh man, I'm actually digging that hovel innovation. That extra survival is going to be awesome. Now the last person we're going to bring out is going to gain the cloth armor and a cat eye circlet, and that's it. Really all that person is going to be doing this fight, I think, is going to be dealing with the hit locations. That's going to be my plan with this character. Now I know I made Caramon and River Raceland, but I have decided to also create Riverwind as well. For those that know the Dragonlance Chronicles, Riverwind and Goldmoon are kind of a pair, so I kind of want to have them go out together. That's why I'm doing it this way. Now he's going to gain +1 survival, so he's going to have 2 survival just like everybody else, and he's going to gain 1 armor in the waist because he's wearing the cloth armor. Other than that, he's got nothing else. He's just like everybody else that would be freshly created. Now the next thing we have to do in our settlement phase is record and archive resources, which is why I've gone ahead and wrote down Broken Lantern and White Fur under resource storage. And since I've got that full set of rawhide gear, I have an extra cloth waist card, so we're going to go ahead and write it under gear storage. So that's the end of the settlement phase. We're going to be moving into hunting yet another monster. We have Xena, Gabrielle, Riverwind, and Gold Moon ready to go out again to hunt a monster. Now the one I'm going to choose again is the white lion. We could go after this screaming antelope, but I want to go after the white lion because there's some things in the last showdown video I want to make sure I clear up going into any further fights with the white lion or any other fight in that matter. Now, I am by no means a Kingdom Death expert. I really wish I was, or I probably would be making some of these errors when it comes to kind of am I creating the right stuff. Please leave in the comments below if you believe that I've been creating the right stuff, or should I've created some other stuff from our resources that we gained in the last encounter with our white lion. I'd love to hear from everybody. And what do you think of my hovel innovation? I think it's great. I think we're going to be okay there. Surge, I hope, comes back around. We'll see. I get to draw 4 because of our symposium, so it has to come around pretty quick at some point. So that's going to do it for our settlement. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the playthrough. This playthrough is awesome. I love Kingdom Death. It's a great game. If you're enjoying it, don't forget to hit the like symbol and hit that bell symbol so you know when the hunt event comes for Kingdom Death Monster. Please leave anything in the comments below. I'd love to hear from everyone. Do you think my settlement is going in the right direction, or do you think we're destined for doom? I also would like to thank everybody in the comment section for helping me through some of this game already. It's been so much fun hearing from everyone. If you're going to see if our survivors can hunt yet another white lion, then I need you to meet me at the table.